So Iso's been out for a week now, and after spending some time playing with him, I can safely say that he is the weakest duelist that we have in the game. And it's what I mean by weak duelist, it's not that he's necessarily a bad kit or anything. It's just that when you only have two slots for duelists, typically speaking, he doesn't make sense to pick him over any other duelist in the game because of what he brings to the table versus what everyone else brings to the table. So let's start with my favorite aspect of his kit, and that is the wall. The wall itself is indestructible as it pushes forward. And the reason why I like this wall is that when you're going down a long sight line or you want to claim the ult orb, you can push this thing down and safely make the aggressive play or claim the orb while being blocked from any incoming bullets. And this is really, really good in that regard. So especially on maps like Haven, A-Site, when you can just peek out, send the wall down, and pick up that orb, it's a good way to get free ult orbs, in my opinion, and I like that part of his kit. His C ability, which is basically the same thing as Omen's Blind, but instead of blinding them, it makes them vulnerable. This ability is good if you combine it with another ability or an aggressive player pushing in, as obviously vulnerable makes enemies easier to kill. So it is a decent ability, but nothing too special. And then of course there is his signature ability, which is double tap. Now, in my opinion, double tap is a worse version of Reyna's signature ability because you have to deal damage or get the kill and then shoot the orb to get the shield. And while the shield does prevent one instance of damage, the fact that you have to shoot the orb means that your crosshair placement will be off for a split second for someone else to aggressively peek you. Furthermore, in comparison to that, it's only for one instance of damage. Reyna has the ability to not only just absorb the orb without you having to adjust her crosshair, but you can dismiss to prevent damage or escape, or you can heal and top yourself up full of health. So to me, it's not a good signature ability in comparison to what Reyna already brings to the table. So while it's not a bad ability, it's also not good either. And then of course there is his ultimate. The ultimate ability in this game for him is absolutely niche and not good. First and foremost, if you are not a high mechanical skill player, don't even bother picking Iso because he does demand high mechanics. But the ult more than anything else, because you get ported into a 1v1 room and you have to win that duel. And the problem I have with this ultimate is that why would you want that ultimate, wait for all those orbs, get the ultimate, when you could have a Jet ult, when you can have a Raze ult, you can have a Yoru ult, a Phoenix ult. All of those ultimates are way better than his ultimate. In my opinion, in my experience, the only scenario that his ultimate has any inherent value is when you're attacking or defending and you have a full buy and the enemy is on eco. That is the only time it's useful because they won't have a good gun or armor and giving you a distinct advantage in the 1v1 scenario. Of course, this works well if you're attacking and the enemy has a sentinel like a Cypher or Killjoy, where you can actually get them from behind a wall, bring them into the world with you, and then instantly get that kill. But it's a very, very niche situation. And again, because it's only really good on eco rounds, it's like, well, you could also have a Raze ult, a Jet ult. Like, all the other ultimates are just better. And you don't have to wait for them to be on eco to get inherent value. So in my opinion, Iso should only be played if you're running like 4 or 5 duelists. If you're running 1 or 2 duelists, the other duelists are better than he is. And I know people will say, oh, you got to get good, you got to be mechanical skill, he'd be great in Tenz's hands. And sure, he would be great in Tenz's hands. But you have to remember, it doesn't change the fact that the game in competitive play matches you with players of your skill. So a Radiant is going to play with a Radiant. And if Tenz is using him, he could easily get pulled in. Well, guess what? He pulled in Asuna. He pulls in Flow Ascending. He pulls in any other top tier pro like Shazam. And guess what? It's still a 50-50 duel no matter how you slice it. It's a 50-50 duel. And if the guy's got an op and really good at it, you're going to lose. So it really doesn't make sense. Like, his ultimate is the weakest part of his kit. And in short, I don't see any scenario to pick Iso over them. And therefore, in my opinion, Iso is the weakest duelist in the game and, quite frankly, an underwhelming agent. But this is my opinion. This is Veteran Gamer, and I hope to see you guys next time.